tuned for sports.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean, the dream.
It is Sunday, January 7th. Good morning, Dean.
How are you?
All right. I'm glad that the storm is, we made it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
The weather, I hate snow. Snow is, I couldn't deal. I'd rather deal with anything else but snow.
It's nice to look at.
Yeah. If you're
not nice
home,
to shovel.
it's
I
not
didn't say I
nice
wanna plow
to
it.
drive through.
No.
And it's nice to look at until dirt and the plows come and then everything is looks nasty. So anyway, either way, storm or not, I'm glad we're here.
Of course, our once a week show, we do our segment on Pro FM on Fridays, and we talked about the whole Happy New Year thing. What's the statute of limitation on where do you stop saying it? I mean, you and I do our show. We sometimes don't see each other a week or talk. So, I could still say Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
And then
next
we'll put
week,
it to bed.
Yeah, next
It's
week,
over.
no more Happy New Year's for you. That's it.
wow.
That's it. You're getting
I think
cut
I
off.
ring the New Year in with you, didn't I?
You sure did. When they were thinking, it's like, for that, I posted a picture of us and I didn't post a picture of me and Jess.
Oh, wow.
She's like, nice picture. I'm like, oh, thanks. And
Did
I'm
you
like,
eat crow for that one?
Nah, didn't care. Building the brand.
Listen, it's all about the brand. We can always spin it on the brand.
Yeah, definitely.
Brand's
and
key.
I think, hey, Bekah Burger makes it in from 92 Pro FM. Bekah, get on the mic.
Oh,
what a
boy.
special guest.
Hey.
Are you here to give us, some insight on sports? So you want to talk about the Patriots playing today?
Oh, what inning do you want me to?
Oh, dear Lord.
We're
Weigh in
gonna
on.
cover the fourth inning.
Okay, the
Yeah,
fourth.
at the end
inning.
of the fourth, who
Who's
you
batting
think?
cleanup?
Four-hole. We're talking the four-hole. I'm going to interrupt here and say that she's sort of in my doghouse a little bit.
Bekah
Now,
Burger?
Well, only because I'm not a morning person, so I'm not always up to listen to Pro FM, but I happened to catch it the other morning going to my mother's house.
Oh, thank you for just having
which was gut-wrenching to go to my mother's house. But anyways, you and your crew in the morning were talking. There was something, I don't know what the dialogue was, but Seinfeld was mentioned, okay, a little bit, and I'm a huge fan. All right, and you said, I was appalled. You said something. No, I'm gonna go against the whole Kramer thing because I don't even know what that is, and it led me to believe that you don't even not that you don't know who Kramer is, but you're totally out on Seinfeld. I could be wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong.
That wasn't me. That was Heather.
Oh wow, you got the wrong person now.
The wrong show?
Nope, just kidding. Seinfeld is so overrated.
Oh, damn. She just smacked you in the face.
It's a sports show, right? We have to be a little bit sneaky.
Bekah, get on. Go.
What do we
go
call
next
that?
to
Hail
Dean.
Mary? I don't know.
Go on the mic next to Dean because we are on YouTube, by the way. Follow us on YouTube, Bekah Burger from 92 Pro FM. I don't know why she's in on
Meaning
a Sunday.
she's coming closer to me.
Yeah.
Not
Get
the time.
that mic. So we're just gonna move all the mics around. I don't know if I want you two even next to each other, but you're mic 5. Sorry.
Overrated?
Yeah.
I have never found Seinfeld that funny. I get all the shticks and stuff. I'm Team Friends. It's like an East Coast, West
because
Coast,
it's the
Yankees,
age.
Red Sox
Yeah,
thing.
but it's
And I couldn't warm
Dean-
up the friends, so maybe it's just
It's an age thing. Look, she's younger than us.
But we're both from Cranston.
Yeah, but Friends. Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. But Friends was on when Seinfeld was on.
Because she's still
It's
younger.
a different kind of millennial.
See, I've watched them,
Gen
and I'm
X
sitting there,
thing.
and I'm saying, just not funny. And I love
See?
looking at Aniston. But
I
other
can-
than that, I'm all set.
I can feel the comments right here under YouTube being like, "Get that girl off here! She stinks!"
Oh, and we have Mike D from Hot 106.
Oh wow, we're off to a.
Everybody, you gotta go on that mic because we want you. We're on YouTube, so you gotta. Dean, turn around a little more. So this thing is.
I gotta turn and burn
flying
over
off
here.
the rails.
All right, early innings here on Keeping Score. We're free forum.
Everybody's here because they're weathering the storm, and they said we're just gonna come in and track our Monday shows because we don't feel like dealing with the snow. Mike D, I don't know if you know.
I know Mike
Dean,
D.
No.
Yeah.
You don't know if he's a Cowboys fan.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's sad. We could have left that part out. Also,
You'll be all right.
I've been living here for the last 3 months. Don't blow up my spot. That's why I'm still
you guys
here.
are fine until you have to play on the road or
Yeah.
play anybody good.
Win on Sunday.
Today.
You get to play a couple of playoff home games. So if you're the Cowboys, so
Life is
that's
good.
right. Yeah, you win today. You get a couple of playoff games. Just saying.
Who are you playing today, by
Washington.
the way? Oh, all right.
Washington.
Then you're good. There's
Division
no
rival.
Nice win over Detroit, seeing that they didn't know how to report in for tax tackle eligible, whatever the problem was.
I'm going to
there.
leave you all with this
Yeah.
because that game was, yes, very controversial at the end.
Yeah.
I blame Dan Campbell. He made things too difficult for the refs.
Yeah.
Make it easier for the refs. He tried.
Refs are tough.
He did a trick play, not only on the Cowboys, but on the refs.
Yeah.
That's his
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah,
They
it
didn't
is.
know who was reporting. Yes, should have been obvious based on the way they were lined up, but he didn't do it.
And Jess and I talked about he was hell-bent on going for 2. At some point, with all the penalties and all the stuff that was happening, take the 1.
Take the
Take
one.
the 1.
I
We'll
know.
go to overtime. But he clinched the week before. He wouldn't have probably done that if the record was different. I
That's a
don't
good
believe-
point, but
yeah.
now it could affect him because if they win and things
Seedings.
fall their way, they
Yeah.
could have finished as a second seed, but now it's working against them. So.
See?
You should
Right,
actually-
Bekah?
You should actually ask Mike his feelings about Taylor Swift.
No,
Oh,
and
yeah,
on that
I-
note, guys,
Go.
make sure you listen to Keeping Score with Jess and Dean every single week. Buy your merch. I got my crew
yeah,
neck.
his crew
I
neck's
gotta
so
buy it.
handsome.
And
He was one of the first guys.
Yes,
wasn't
Damn
he?
right.
He's an OG right
I
there.
put in the request. I waited for the crew necks to come in, and Jess, of course, hand delivered it, which
Yeah.
is like a dream come true for me to have a beauty like Jess delivering me
Oh,
some
yeah.
merchandise. So.
I know I got a great face for radio.
Yeah.
But I
Dude,
mean, it's,
Dean, you know what? My next bit of merchandise, I want you delivering it, so
What?
then it
Oh, wow.
completes it.
Full package.
I'm gonna get everything.
We may do
wow.
beanies next. How do you feel about a good beanie?
beanies?
It's a hat.
That's a lot.
A winter
That's
hat.
a lot for me to
Sometimes you have to
process.
explain to him.
No, I love the beanies.
By the way, this is why he doesn't run our social media. I don't know if you noticed yesterday, he posted pictures of you
Yes.
wearing your Keeping Score and also 762 photos from my Facebook profile.
Oh, my goodness.
Someone I think I'm gonna have to run your own Facebook.
I think
as well.
you accidentally.
You were hacked. You were hacked.
Yeah, you were hacked.
What?
Do you even know that you did this?
I saw somebody circle something, but to say 762, but I thought that meant that's how many home runs Barry Bonds hit in his career.
Oh, geez.
I don't know.
All
What are we
right.
doing over
I
here?
don't know. What are we doing
botched
over
it,
here? This
all
is
right?
a lot.
I'm still getting over Bekah and the whole Cosmo Kramer thing. So
I
I'm
know.
still
I'm one of your
struggling with it.
grievances, Dean.
Love you guys.
Thank you.
Keep doing a
Thank
great
you.
show.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for coming in and stay safe. Stay safe out there. Roads are always wild. All right.
I do like Bekah with the pink, the pink
Yeah,
headband with the.
she's very matchy.
No, she's very color coordinated.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
Well, that was a nice little
That
start
was
to the
great.
show.
I know. It was nice.
Well,
I like
fun.
having visitors. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, so you can see all our special guests that just came in with the first couple minutes of the show. You got to love it.
So she's Friends. I'm Seinfeld. It's
Yeah,
okay.
it's
all
okay.
good.
It's nice
Red
to
Sox,
have
Yankees,
different.
nice. Yes.
But Cranston. That's what it all comes
Cranston,
down
that's
to.
our
Both-
common denominator. The three of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. All right, so let's just get to the show now. I mean, I know the Greek Assassin's
got a
probably
lot-
like, do
we
we
got a
have
lot to
anything
do.
else that you want to talk about
A
before?
lot to do. We're into 2024. It's
Yeah.
Sunday. A little snow on the ground. We're good. Life is good.
All right, let's go.
That's odd having Allen not take the knee. Just bringing in a different guy with exchange and all that.
Yeah, I would
mean,
say
you're not
so.
up. You're not up 21. You're up 6. Maybe just one bad snap, man.
He's got Shakir behind him as the safety of sorts. Drops to the left knee on the final play in the final game in 2023 as the Patriots and the Bills part their separate ways. Two teams headed in vastly different directions. Buffalo will be 10-6. The Patriots have dropped to 4-12. And they've guaranteed a last place finish for the first time since 2000.
Bottom line, you make some plays in this game? Yeah, you did. Your defense played its tail off again. Can't commit 4 turnovers in the first half and expect to beat anybody, especially this team in their place.
I got to tell you, I can't believe that game was so close. It leads me to believe that Buffalo is not as strong as we think they are.
They've been playing well. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
the Patriots, of course, they run the opening kickoff back. Jalen Reagor, 98 yards.
Beautiful.
The Pats are up 7-0 before you could get in your seat and blink.
Right.
And you thought good things. And then it was just one pick after another from Zappi in that first quarter with 4 turnovers altogether. But
Some of them, he's not even throwing to a person. He's
No.
not even throwing.
And of
Where
course,
are you going?
And of course, our boy Farrell Brown, the tight end, he finally peaked. He coughed it and put it on the tough, and it was still in the game.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
I don't
but I
feel
think-
good about the Bills.
I think the Patriots played really hard. They're trying, believe me. They're not mailing it in.
A for effort.
Yeah, no, they were playing hard. And at one point, let me ask you, did you think Mac was going to go back in at one point?
No, I think
They
Bill,
showed him on the sideline. He
I
had
know.
the jacket off because you
Yeah.
were wondering if he was even dressed.
Right,
But no,
that's
he was
true.
there. He was there.
Yeah, but I think Bill can't stand him, and I don't think he has a chance.
Yeah.
I don't. But which is and that's why I don't understand Bill as a coach, because if Mac did that, Zappy would have been in. So,
Right.
but he stuck with Zappy because I just think he likes him better, and I think
he knows.
Mac Jones is.
I think he knows
done.
both guys are swell, but I think he
Right.
feels like he's gonna, like you've said it, they got a little bit of a more motion, a little bit of a better shot with Zappi in
Yeah.
there, and maybe the the players played behind Zappe a little bit more. But
Right.
3 turnovers, like you blinked and it was just brutal. And then, of course, the game settled down and the Patriots were still in it, played hard till the end. But Buffalo gets a well-needed victory as they set up for a big game tonight versus Miami. We'll get into it.
I know that's going to be something else. All right, so when we're watching the game today, which I mentioned on Pro FM, I'm going to watch the whole Patriots game because I want to see what happens at the end. I want to see if there's a long camera shot to Bill Belichick. I want to see if there's a wave. I want to see if any indication that maybe this is Bill's last game as a Patriots coach.
Yeah, I hope you're not looking for anything up on the Jumbotron that's going to say congratulations or thank you for your time here.
No.
Because, it's Black Monday tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's where the coaches usually, it's Pink Slip City.
Correct.
Ron Rivera, I hope you're renting. It's over.
yeah.
But like with Bill, we don't know what's going to happen. I really don't know right now. I think it's already, I think he goes. But I think there is the sit down. He could maybe sway the crowd. I don't know.
What's he going to sway him with?
Well,
I know since Tom Brady left, I've sucked.
Linda's coming back with the pooch. What are we doing here? I don't know.
Nike.
But no, I
needs her.
don't know. I think Jonathan wants him out.
Yes.
I think Bob, whatever, he's conflicted. I think he's still a little conflicted.
They're like the same age. They've been closer friends. Jonathan is seeing from a business perspective, and then Robert's just I think Robert's like this. We got rid of Tom Brady, which I don't think he wanted to do, but Tom Brady goes win a Super Bowl. We get rid of Bill. What happens if Bill coaches the Chargers and they win a Super Bowl?
I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I'm not.
I know you're not worried about that. I think that's what Bill's worried.
Okay.
I mean, Bob's worried about.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to give you another scenario that I hope doesn't happen. One of the experts in the industry, I saw it the other day, had a scenario where Bill stays, okay? But obviously he relinquishes some of his power, as far as shopping for the groceries. And they here we go, recycling bin again, like my relationships. They bring back
I'm sure all your loves are thrilled to hear that.
They bring back McDaniels.
Dean asked me out from the recycling bin.
That's a lot.
Thank you so much, Dean.
They bring back McDaniels, but they keep O'Brien. So now they got co-offensive coordinators. This
I don't
is
see
a rumor
that's
I heard.
gonna work.
And Dave Ziegler, who was with McDaniels in LV and was with New England before, he comes in as the GM. So they stop moving some pieces around, but you're still bringing the same guys back. And here we go again. You're what are you running back? You're 5-12, 4-13, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm all set with McDaniels, and I might be all set with O'Brien. I'm ready to move on from a lot of these guys, but again, it's easier said than done. I'm sure they want to sit down and say, well, it's time to move on, but it's difficult. I've been there before. It's tough.
Once again, talking about his relationship, Dean's personal relationship, as opposed to Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft. All right. Well, I mean, I guess we just don't know. We can't predict the future, obviously, because that's why we suck at picking games. But I am very interested. Do you think this is the last time we see Mac Jones on the sidelines in a Patriots uniform?
They could bring him back just because they don't have to make a move yet. He's finishing his 3rd year. They don't have to pick up that 5th year option until next year, which they probably won't. So they still could bring him back next year and just see what happens. Maybe try to trade him and get a late round pick for him. That's what the Jets are going to do with Zach Wilson. Try to retrieve something, get a late round pick. He's not going to play for the Jets again. So there's going to be a lot of movement in the offseason. It's going to be interesting. I think we've seen the last of Mac Jones. You might see him hold the clipboard, but he needs to move on and go somewhere else. I just think it would be healthy for both sides.
Right. And you see Zappe not as a starting quarterback, but probably the backup for the Patriots for next year, right?
Possibly. I think he's earned at least a shot at that, but I believe that they still should try to upgrade that quarterback room. Obviously, draft one and draft a ready-made quarterback, and we can talk about that as time goes on. I'm starting to love the kid from Washington all of a sudden. But
he likes to throw.
But and then of course, then you can still upgrade and look for a backup, maybe a veteran. I still think they can do better than Zappe in the 2 spot, but at least he does know the system. But now if Bill leaves, that system could change. You bring in a new coach, it changes everything. We start from scratch. If you're going to go draft a quarterback top 5, I say you don't do it with a 72-year-old coach, 71-year-old coach who looks like the game has kind of passed him by. So
yeah, but then you think of Pete Carroll, and he's 71, and that guy is on it. I think it's all the gummy chews.
He's got a ton of energy. There's no doubt about it. But Bill, it looks like it's. I don't know. I see the end.
What if you see he's no longer GM, which I don't think he'd even go for that. And then he doesn't make any decisions when it comes to the roster.
He just coaches the team.
Coaches the team.
Coaches the team. I think he can still coach.
Okay.
And the defense, whether it's Mayo, whether it's his son Steve, the defense has been pretty good. They've kept them in games. I still think their inability to get off the field on 3rd down. It looks like they make great plays on 1st and 2nd down.
They're like,
and then it's just Allen kept the plays going a little bit longer than we wanted them to the other day. The Patriots, they played hard. It was a valiant effort, but
and we're still missing 2 of the best
of course,
defenders.
you get Gonzalez and Judon. They're both on the contract. They'll be back next year. You got to figure out what you're going to do with guys like Duggar and Uche and some of those guys that could be up or restricted free agents and unrestricted free agents.
Are you surprised at all that 0.0 Patriots made it to the Pro Bowl? Like no one, there's no.
No. By the way, I was thinking of that just when I saw that, and I love that because you know me, big baseball fan. In MLB, I hate the rule that every team has to have a representative.
Oh, okay.
If you suck, you don't go to the Pro Bowl. There were guys from the Royals one year going. He was hitting 212, and he went, but they had to have someone from the team. No, if you don't have anybody worthy, you don't go.
Right.
And the Patriots don't have anybody worthy.
No.
Obviously,
they haven't had anyone worthy.
Obviously,
in a while.
I hate to make excuses, but if Judon and Gonzalez were healthy, they look like. Judon he's a perennial Pro Bowler.
Yes.
And usually Slater makes it on special teams every year, and he didn't even make it. So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if I wanted to like be nitpicky and say that, all right, look for a silver lining and say there's one guy on the roster this year. I mean, I'd be hard pressed.
Yeah.
I'd be hard pressed. It would have been Slater because he makes it every year on special teams. But, you know, on that defense, you know, a Duggar, somebody like that would have been somebody I would have maybe considered. But again, when you're 4-12, they're not really looking at the Pro Bowl. They're going to take, you know, nine from San Fran, 7 from Baltimore, and you know,
the Eagles.
You can't blame it.
Speaking of Slater, we have some audio from him talking about Bill Belichick.
It's been transformative. I wouldn't have had a third of the career that I've had without Coach, and he's pushed me every step of the way. He's shown belief in me when I think a lot of people wouldn't have, and you know, given me an opportunity coming out of college where you know, a lot of other teams would not have, and he's kept me around a lot longer than I thought he would. So I certainly appreciate that. I certainly appreciate the way he leads from the front, his example, his sacrifice, his accountability. I can go on and on about Coach, but, you know, simply stated, I mean, I'm not standing up here talking to you without Coach Belichick. So.
And that sounds like a retirement speech to me, don't you think?
Yeah, and Matthew Slater is a class act. And I don't know if you know this, Jess, but his dad was, and if you look at Slater, like very, you know, he came out of college from UCLA as a wide receiver, thin, wiry type player. His dad was like 6'5", 360, was an All-Pro and I believe a Hall of Fame tackle for the Rams, Jackie Slater.
Oh, okay.
And I'm wondering, I believe he is in the Hall of Fame, and they don't usually put special teamers in the Hall of Fame. Steve Tasker from Buffalo years ago may be in there. He's the best I ever saw.
Not from the car dealership.
No, not
Okay.
that. No, that's Tasker. This is Tasker.
Oh,
okay.
Well, you
is,
had a little bit of an accent.
well,
so.
I'm Rhode Island. This is ER, not A. I love you though. But no, I'm wondering maybe that would be a story if ever, you know, Matthew Slater ever makes it to the Hall of Fame with, you know, father son in the Hall of Fame. That'd
That's
be a great
cool.
story. So I got to look into that a little bit. But we hope for the best. Whatever he decides to do, whether he comes back or not, it's got to be frustrating after all the years of winning. These last 4 years have been, you know, really challenging for the ball club and for Slater individually.
I do want to end on this before we get to this week's picks, which are going to be hard just because it's week 18. Do you think Zeke comes back? I feel like he wasn't as disappointing as we thought he was going to be.
No, and even with Stevenson out, he's had a little bit more of a workload, and he's been okay.
Yeah.
They activated the kid Kevin Harris from the practice squad. He looks like he's got a little burst, too. He can run a little. But Zeke's done his job, and he's been a consummate pro.
Yeah.
I think a couple of weeks ago he did question some of the play calling, and I don't blame him. But he's a pro, and you know, they asked him, they said, how tough is it to come here and deal with all the losing? He said, you know what, we're professional athletes. We get to play on a Sunday. It's a dream come true.
Oh.
That's not something he would have said 8 years ago when he was in Dallas. He was very immature when he came into the league, but he's grown up a lot, and I think he was sort of a good leader on that team. And he, you know, he helped guys. He looks like he's a good team player, and I wouldn't rule out bringing him back on another 1 year deal for, you know, if the money, you know, is right. But I also wouldn't be upset if he were to go somewhere else to a contender and try to win, because, you know, he's getting a little long in the tooth football-wise.
All right, very good. I feel the same way. All right, well, let's get to our picks of the week. Final week of football. Oh, man, this makes me sad.
Depressed?
It does. It makes me sad. It's gonna be a lot for me on Sundays not to have
I told
all
you
these
it's
games.
okay. You got playoffs. We still got a lot of football
know,
left.
but,
I know every week it
no
dwindles.
more red zone.
No, every week it dwindles because after the eliminations, you're down. All right, there's 4 games now. There's 2 games now. There's 1. It's a Super Bowl.
I have to watch commercials.
Oh, wow.
All right, here we go. Cleveland at Cincy. Cincy giving them 7. Now, as we know, because it is week 18, a lot of players not playing. Flacco's not going to be in. They're already made it in the playoffs. So they're just going to be very like B string, C string, D string.
Jess, talk about one of the stories of the season. Joe Flacco gets off the scrap. He's on his couch, as you said, with his 5 kids. And now all of a sudden he's able to sit out the last week because they're clinched. What a story.
That's
it's a great
crazy.
story. Obviously, Browning's playing for his life going forward to be the backup for Burrow. And even though I think they're pretty much toast, they are favored at home. And I'll take Cincinnati at home in this one because I think Cleveland's going to rest some guys.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we got Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit giving them 3.5. This game... No, because Detroit's already in the playoffs, so they're all set.
Yeah, I think their seeding is pretty good, too. And then, of course, that tough loss against Dallas last week. But Minnesota, they've tried everything. Kevin O'Connell's tried to mix and match with those 4 quarterbacks this year. And it's over for Minnesota. Detroit, whether Goff plays the whole game or doesn't play at all, I'll take Detroit at home.
I think that would be a chance to leave him in there. All right, we got Jacksonville at Tennessee. Tennessee getting 3.5. These teams, Jacksonville needs to win, right?
They need to win. They win the division.
Okay.
So it's very simple. And of course, Trevor Lawrence with the shoulder and the finger issue. He's got a couple of issues, but he's going to play in this one after missing his first time he didn't start a game last week. So he'll be back in there. And I got to like Jacksonville on the road. I know it's it's a road tilt, but it's for all the marbles for the division.
And then we got the Patriots and the Jets. Are we going Patriots?
We're going to take the Patriots after we said we'd never take them again this year. But
well, it is the Jets.
Potentially Bill's last game, and I don't remember the last time Bill lost them. I think it's like 17 in a row. He just loves, and I hate to say it, gets off. He loves to beat the Jets.
Oh, of course, yeah.
He's definitely not going to tank. Let's just say that.
Right. All right. So we got Atlanta at New Orleans.
Ugh.
New Orleans giving them 3. New Orleans.
I'm done with this.
Godson was just
done with these teams. Like I crapped all over, and then he went out and lit it up. And Mayfield took a step back last week. So I don't know. Atlanta. I'm just tired of these two teams. I don't know. This one. Well, so this.
Do we revert to Steve on this?
Well, this game so there's implications here because both teams are bottled up with Tampa. Tampa's got the easier matchup, so they need help. But one of these teams can win the division with a win, and they have to hope Tampa loses. So a lot still has to happen, but it can happen. I'll take New Orleans at home, and Cock can burn me again. And either way, Atlanta would burn me. It doesn't matter.
Steve, do you agree? Yep. All right, good. All right, New Orleans it is. All right, so then we have Tampa at Carolina. Carolina getting 4.5. Tampa Bay, as you said, needs to win.
They had a terrible game last week versus New Orleans after we praised Mayfield, but now he's got a serious rib injury. He's going to play through it. Okay, they're going to brace it up, and he's going to do the best he can in this one. So this is a great opportunity for them. It's a road tilt, but they're at Carolina, the doormat of the league. So you win the division, and of course that would send New Orleans and Atlanta. They'd both go home.
All right,
I'm going to take Tampa.
Tampa Bay, but better not mess me up. There's something that messed me up. There's music running on a key that I don't know where it is. All right, so we're just going to deal with that later. Chicago at Green Bay. Green Bay giving them 3. Does Green Bay need to win?
I think they clinched the wild card spot already.
Okay.
I'm taking them anyways, and Chicago, give them credit. They've played well down the stretch, and I think
Fields is playing for his job.
Fields is playing better, and of course, he's saying don't draft a quarterback. So as much as I've loved what Chicago's done the last month, I'm taking Green Bay at home. I've decided I do like Jordan Love, and I still like the Packers.
You do?
I do. Going forward, I do like Love.
All right, Here we go. You love Love.
Wow.
Anyway, we got Denver at Vegas. Vegas giving them 2.5. I don't know.
Okay.
I like Vegas,
yeah,
but then they sucked.
I like Vegas at home under Antonio Pierce. Take the interim tag off. He's done a nice job. Denver did get a win with Jarrett Stidham stepping in for Russell Wilson last week.
Oh, my God. What's going on with this board? Something's going on with
this.
Something's going on with the controls. I'm all distracted. Go ahead.
It's okay. We're going to take the Raiders at home.
All right, very good. We got Philly at the Giants. The Giants getting 5. I'm imagining no one good in Philly is going to be playing.
Yeah, well, last year Hurts played the last game of the year, and of course, seeding wise, I know they could blow that division. They still got a chance if Dallas were to miraculously lose to Washington, so that could still turn, I believe. But Philly has lost 5 out of 6, and they don't look good down the stretch. I will take them in this game, even though Tyrod Taylor he keeps the Giants in games. It's over for Tommy Cutlets.
Oh, poor little guy. After all that merch, it's like us selling all our merch and then we'd be like, Tommy Cutlets, and they're like, he doesn't play anymore.
Well, the rumor is that now he's begging that pizza joint to go and do it on the cuff, so it's kind of role reversal.
Actually, to work there. He's like, I saw
him bussing tables the other night.
We got Seattle at Arizona. Arizona getting 3. I mean, I'm going with, is Seattle already locked in?
No, they're not locked in at all. They're in trouble.
They need to win.
Yeah, and of course, that was a tough loss at home to Pittsburgh last week, who just...
what the hell?
I don't know.
This is terrible.
I guess that's what makes it fun, even though we get aggravated. You don't know.
Well...
I mean, but Kyler Murray got a huge win versus Philly last week, and that helped the Patriots as far as draft status, so I'm okay with that one. Yeah, Philly collapsed. Yep. Murray does make a difference for Arizona, but I will take Seattle, Geno on the road. This is it. They got to at least get a victory and hope for the best.
And we got Kansas City at the Chargers, and and obviously no one good in Kansas City is playing, but no one good in Kansas City has been playing lately anyway. They look like
and they
crap.
can blame it on Swift. They can do whatever they want, but it's the immortal Blaine Gabbert who gets the call in this game, and you have Missouri ties to him.
Yes, I do. I track a radio station in Missouri, so Mizzou, he was the head quarterback over there.
He was very good then.
Yeah, then.
And he strictly should be holding a clipboard in the pros. So
it's a big day for him.
I don't even care. Like the Rams, the Chargers, I'm all set. I don't even care about this game, but of course, Mahomes is going to rest, which is smart.
All right, so who are we going to go with?
I'm leaving that to Steve.
Steve, are we going with the Chargers or the Chiefs?
I'll go with Chiefs.
Chiefs? Chiefs away. All right, he believes in my Mizzou guy. All right, we got the Rams at San Fran. San Fran giving them 4. Obviously, Purdy's not going to be playing for that game, but the Rams are...
They clinched.
Yes. They have Carson Wentz starting, correct?
He's off the milk cotton, okay?
And he's going to be playing Sam Darnold,
We've
right?
been hurt. Yeah, I believe it will be Sam Donald in this game. It could be the kid Allen.
What a game.
Sam Donald, another Jets bust. They said he's done a nice job in San Fran, and of course, Purdy gets the rest in this game after making his first Pro Bowl.
Oh, congratulations.
But I will take San Fran at home.
Okay.
Just because they're at home.
Yeah. Imagine if Carson Wentz, after all these years of us trashing him, trashing him, comes out and be like, see, I told you I could do it.
If he wins on Sunday, he still stinks.
Okay.
He's terrible. He's
Dallas
terrible.
At Washington getting 13.5 at home. You got to go with Dallas on this one.
Dallas wins, they win the division. Washington, they benched Sam Howell, but then he ended up starting because Brissett couldn't go.
Poor guy. I love Brissett. I would like him to come back to the Patriots.
Yeah, as a backup. I don't ever want to see him on the field.
All right, he was a nice guy.
Dallas, all right, well, it's not about nice guys. It's not getting sentimental over here. It's cutthroat. Dallas, of course, CeeDee Lamb lit it up last week. He's had a monster season. Woo! Prescott still in the hunt for the MVP. I don't think it's going to go to him. I know who my MVP is, but I'm going to take Dallas in this game.
Mac
I know
Jones.
They've been awful on the road this year, Jess. They need a victory here. If they lose to Washington, wow, McCarthy could be in trouble. He has to win and win in the playoffs.
All right, very
I'll take
good.
Dallas.
And final game, Buffalo. This is the game of the week. Buffalo at Miami tonight. Miami getting 3. A lot of people hurt. I don't know what the latest is on. Well, we got Waddle out. We got
Waddle's out. Achon, the running back, out. And of course, unfortunately, he's questionable. And of course, Bradley Chubb, the down lineman, torn ACL, done for the season. So you're not seeing him again. It's the worst time for Miami to have these injuries. I'd say the fact that they're at home is a little bit of an advantage. They got absolutely spanked by Baltimore, and they haven't been good against
52-19.
They haven't been good against good teams either, Jess. They haven't won many against good teams.
Yep.
Buffalo is trending in the right direction, and I told you last week it all coincides with 5-5 for the first 10 games. They let Ken Dorsey, the offensive coordinator, go. They brought in Joe Brady. Since then, 5-1. They're winning, and before 25 carries a game running the ball. Since Brady's taken over, they're rushing the ball 37 times a game, and it's James Cook, Latavius Murray. They're running the ball, and Allen's throwing it less, and they're winning games. I just got to go on my feel right here. Forget about home field. I got to go Buffalo because they're playing better. I'm going to take the Bills in this game.
All right, very good. So that's our Week 18, that final week for a regular season, and which leads us to Godson's games of the week.
Let's go! Football! Godson's Games of the Week.
All right, so he's picking 3, 2 professional, 1 NCAA. And last week, by the way, we should mention that...
Good bounce back week for him.
He was perfect.
All right.
So if you did a parlay, you won some money. And I did the parlay, and then I added Tampa Bay in it to be extra greedy, and I lost. All right.
Oh, you Eddie mushed
and
it.
Then Godson was just like, just talk to me before you do anything. I'm like, okay. All right, he's going with Buffalo.
Yeah,
That's like your pick, -3. He's going with Tennessee, +3.5.
He doesn't have much faith in Lawrence on the road with a big game for the division, but okay.
Yep, and then finally, he's going with the NCAA championship. He is picking Michigan -4.5. So that's if you want to do a parlay, Buffalo -3, Tennessee +3.5, and Michigan for the NCAA championship -4.5.
Good stuff.
All right, very good. So we're going to thank our sponsors, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk basketball.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate.
Score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored.
Isaiah Joe for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's going to dribble to the left corner. Porzingis waiting for him. He'll just fire the three and hit it. Too good.
You say he was waiting for what?
Great question. 16 in the quarter, 33 on the night. It's all academic now, pretty much. Celtics will go for a quick three. Derek White triggers it into the corner. Jaylen Brown turning, firing. It is no good. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, appropriately enough, with the rebound that seals it. The Celtics again on the verge of getting knocked out. Stage a dramatic comeback on the road to get within 2 in the final seconds, but the OKC Thunder hang on and hand the Celtics their 7th defeat of the year.
All right, so the Celtics not taking the W in that, but I guess everyone's saying Oklahoma City is pretty good.
Very good.
Yeah?
Young, athletic, and hungry. Yeah, you got a young head coach, and of course, it's tough to say the name because he's got 3 names, but I call him SGA, but it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Wow.
Who they just alluded to with 33 points. He's averaging 31 for the season, and that's why the Clippers will never win an NBA championship. They traded him after his rookie year for Paul George, who's allergic to playing half the time. So, of course, they've built this team through the draft and loading up on draft picks. They got the kid Chet Holmgren. He missed all of last year with a foot injury. His rookie year, the 7-1 center. He's averaging 17 a game with like 2.5 blocks. So they got some young players. The kid Jalen Williams averaging 18. I love this young team. That was a game the Celtics should have had circled, saying, you know what, let's go hard at this game and make Oklahoma City take a step back and make them realize they're not ready for the big time. But on the road, of course, the Celtics couldn't get it done. I know they sit at 26-7, but that was a game I kind of had circled and I was looking at, hoping that the C's would bring it hard. And I thought of you the other night because when I was watching it, here we go again. You keep saying it. Third quarter.
Yeah.
Third quarter. They're up 6. Next you know, they're down 18. They were down 18.
They're taking naps at halftime. That's what they're doing. They're just like going to snuggle up and they're just like, oh, we're still playing a game. Like maybe they should take no halftime and just play the entire time.
I got to say, in the loss, Porzingis was tremendous again. He had almost his season high. I think he had 34, 35, and they needed a little bit more. But he had a 3 from the corner that could have brought them back. But they said his little puppy was on the line. Foot. But when you got a size 17 or 18, it's when you're 7'3". Yeah. It's kind of tough in the corner to keep you. But he'd never last at my place at Raynone's Gym on Sunday. It's real tight there in those corners.
Same thing in Cranston East. You ever been to that gym?
Yeah, you like hit the wall when you want to shoot a 3.
you're in the parking lot if you want to shoot a 3-pointer. It's terrible. I still feel as though the Celtics are going to be okay, but I don't know. I don't know what what's his name's going to do.
Brad Stevens for a move, possibly.
Yeah, because they said they want another guard, right?
Well, yeah, they want another guard, but they're looking at
money.
They're looking at bigs too. Like I told you, Isaiah Stewart and Kelly Olynyk, a couple of bigs they could bring in, and Boran Bogdanovic, they could bring him in from Atlanta. He can shoot the ball. He's more of a stretch guy, about 6'7". He makes a little bit too much money, but they're going to try to figure out if they can make it work and maybe send a couple of guys back, make some contracts work. But Brad will make a move. He has to because they're a little bit thin up front, and to have a sniper off the bench, on that second unit.
He may need to take out a loan. Did you hear that Missoula was coach of the week?
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
So things
Unless
are good.
I made that up, but yeah, I think things are doing very well. And it's unlike the Patriots. A lot of these guys made it to the the All-Star team or whatever like that. So it was like the starting 5. It's very impressive. So it's nice to have a team that's doing quite well.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I keep getting texts. I'm very distracted right
now.
Well,
get it together.
Yeah, Northeastern Tree is at the house. All right, so let's do
tree issues.
Because I was dealing with them. I don't want them to cut down the wrong tree. So we're just gonna pray for the best. I don't know what's gonna happen right now. Anyway, My neighbors are going to be upset. So let's talk about other games. You wanted to talk about my boy, the Joker, which you have me being a big fan now after last year.
Yeah, I mean, just Thursday night, there only happened to be 2 games on the slate, Jess, and they were both TNT games. So obviously I was at work. I got to catch the tail end of one game and watch the second game. And of course, the first game was the first time that the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo, went against Wembanyama. Try to say those names like 5 times.
Yeah,
Victor Wembanyama.
But it's fun to say Wembanyama.
And there was some really great plays in this game. It was fun to watch. This is the future and the present of the league. And it's to see these big guys come into the league. I just mentioned the aforementioned Chet Holmgren. He's 7'1", 7'2" out of Oklahoma City. You got Embiid. You got a lot of good big men in the league right now. And Giannis wins out. This was a close game, even though San Antonio's got a terrible team. They got 34 points from Devin Vassell for San Antonio, but Wembanyama, 27 points, 9 rebounds, but he was outlasted. They lost the game 125-121, and the Greek Freak had 44 points and 14 rebounds.
Now, I was watching that game, and the Greek Freak is just like he's jacked. Like he is of a he's a solid big guy. Yeah, he looks great. And then you have Wembanyama, who's 19, right?
Yeah.
And he's just like, I called him the praying mantis. Like he's just lanky, and it's like I feel like at the 3-point line he can just drop the ball in. It's just amazing to me because it's like he runs at a different pace.
He looks like he's going to break in half.
Yes.
He does, but go back and Google one day and look at the before and after and look at Giannis when he came up, and he really worked to shape his body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, he's only 6'11" with long arms. This kid's 7'5". They're listing him at 7'3". They say he may be 7'5".
His head can hit the rim.
He's a real special talent. But when you talk about the best player in the world, it was game 2. And of course, Steph Curry's, I think, one of the top few players in the world, even at 35 years old. But it's the Joker. Nikolai Jokic, who hits a game winner for Denver late at the buzzer from about 35 feet off the glass after his team, with a little bit less than 7 minutes to go, was down 18. They go on a 25-4 run, and the Joker gets it done, finishing with 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 10 assists, and a devastating loss for the Warriors, who you've said they're pretty much history at this point.
Yeah.
16-18, even though obviously they're under 500, they have let Draymond Green back to the team facility, so I don't know how that's all going to play out. But they might give him another crack. I thought he was probably done there.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But then again, I mean, I don't know. I almost think he's worse than Rodman. Like, I know Rodman went through a lot, but I don't know. Draymond Green's different.
Well, don't forget, Bob Myers is no longer the GM in Golden State. I believe it's Mike Dunleavy now. I'm sure Dunleavy's been on the phone, definitely taking calls. I hope he's making calls too, but there may not be many suitors for Draymond. They're not going to take that headache on. So, it may be like, all right, see what we can get. If not, maybe they bring him back. I don't know what's going to happen there, but
he's not a good example for kids.
No, not a good situation for Golden State. Curry's still playing at a high level, but as I've told you before, Klay Thompson's lost a step. Wiggins looks like he's checked out. A team doesn't really. They're going to be hard pressed to even get. They may play in the tournament to get into the playoffs, but right now they're like a 9 or a 10 seed. So.
All right, so forget that.
Yeah.
And you have anything else in basketball before we get to hot stove, which I think is just going to be lickety split, right? Not too much.
Yeah.
All right, because then we only got 24 minutes right now. I know.
I feel good about it.
I feel good about it too. With all our visitors and stuff like that, that took up some time.
I feel good.
Me not paying attention and the board not working properly. So
And the trees.
And the trees. I really got to find out what's going on because if they take down, they left. Oh God, God only knows what's happening at my house. All right, so
We pausing the show?
No, we can't. Well, if they left. That means they didn't have to cut down the trees yet. All right. So anyway, we're talking baseball, hot stove. Last week we were talking about Chris Sale on the air, and then what happened with Chris Sale?
We were driving home and he got traded. I mean, pretty much that's how that went down.
Yeah.
And obviously, to put a bow on this whole Chris Sale tenure in Boston, it's over finally. And this trade when they got him from Chicago years ago, it worked for a while. This guy was to me, he was kind of box office and probably the best pitcher to come along since Pedro Martinez. Kurt Schilling for a short time. I know you're not a Schilling fan, but he was a great pitcher. He was in his prime. He was a guy, you're putting up the K signs every night, but his body didn't hold up and he's not durable. So you finally saw, here's Craig Breslow's big splash now.
Yeah.
He finally makes a big move. At this point right now, and in the last year of his deal, I'm happy that they were able to get something for him, and we will talk about what they got. But, of course, Chris Sale, he's in the last year of his 5-year, $145 million deal. He goes to Atlanta. The Red Sox have to pay 17 of the $27 million that he has coming this year. They wanted him out that bad, and I was just happy to see that they got something in return. Chris Sale doesn't have to go anchor the rotation in Atlanta. They've got Spencer Strider there as their number one with the Boogie Night stash. They've got enough depth there in that rotation.
Quite the theme.
He's going to be like a 3 or a 4 on that staff, so he doesn't have the pressure of trying to anchor a rotation at 34 years old. Question is, what did the Red Sox get in return?
What did the Red Sox get in return?
And I really love this kid, Vaughn Grissom. I saw his major league debut 2 years ago during the summer at Fenway Park, where he went 2 for 4 with a home run. You could just see this kid's a gifted hitter.
Okay.
Gifted hitter.
Isn't Vaughn one of the names from Major League?
Ricky Vaughn.
Oh, that's why you like him.
And the Red Sox had Mo Vaughn, but this kid's first name is Vaughn. This kid's name is Vaughn Grissom.
Right.
So they get a 23-year-old middle infielder. My only reservations about him, Jazz, I'm shocked that they got this kid. I think I just watch him and I look at professional hitter. I think he's going to be great.
You get him to Jersey?
I would get this kid's jersey.
Way.
He's that good.
Mark it.
My reservations are what was obviously the Red Sox they stunk on ice last year, but what was their real detriment to that team? It was their defense. They couldn't catch the ball. This kid's a little bit shaky defensively. He's a middle infielder.
Okay.
They were going to give him the shortstop job in Atlanta last year. He got beat out by a couple of guys that had better gloves. So they sent him down. And he hits like 340 in the minor leagues. He's got nothing left to prove at the AAA level.
Okay.
23 years old, tall, lanky kid. He's got a sweet swing. I love his bat. I think the Red Sox are going to look. With Trevor Story playing short, they're going to move him over to second base. I think he's going to be a starting second baseman this year. And, of course, he's got to really work on that defense. But hitting-wise, there is no issues there. I love this move for the Red Sox. And, obviously, they got him under control for 6 years. So he's a young kid, so they don't have to pay him a lot of money.
Well, perfect. And then that ends up works. I mean, it's something for the Red Sox fans to get excited about. And I think even if they didn't grab him, I think they would have been excited getting rid of Chris Sale because that guy was just nothing.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they got anything back. So they had to pay some of the money, but they sent some cash over, and then Atlanta paid $10 million. But now the Sale era is over. You can put that behind you, and of course the Red Sox can look to bolster their rotation. But now you look at that right side of the infield, with of course Tristan Casas at first base, who you even like. Do you think he's coming around?
Back, yes.
He can paint his fingernails all he wants if he's hitting 35 jacks. I don't care.
He's not even painting his fingernails anymore.
He's painting a lot of things, but no, if he can hit, I
don't even know what that means.
But no, you take him at first base, and Grissom ends up being your starting second baseman. He pans out. Now you got a nice right side of your infield. Story, if he can stay healthy, he's in his early 30s now, but he's still an athletic type guy. You got him and Devers on the left side. All of a sudden, your infield's not that bad. So I mean, they got to upgrade in the outfield a little bit. They need probably like one more right-handed bat, and they're looking at Teoscar Hernandez from Seattle. There's a couple of options out there. They're not going to go Cody Bellinger. He's a left-handed hitter looking for almost like $200 million. So I love this move for the Red Sox. I think it was time for Sale to go, and I was also shocked to see Atlanta, one of the great organizations in baseball. They did what the Red Sox did. They jumped the gun with Sale. They just signed them to a 2-year extension for $38 million. I didn't see that.
Did he
coming.
play a whole season last year?
He actually had 20 starts out of 33. He actually played a little more than half.
Oh,
which is great.
For all that money, though?
Well,
yeah,
great considering what he did the other
years
years when he fell off his bike going to Subway. What we doing over here?
And when he beat the heck out of the McCoy.
Yeah, that's stupid now. I was tired of his accountability. I know I haven't brought anything to the table. Again, even on the way out the door, he said some nice things. He said, I didn't carry my weight there, literally, figuratively. I know he doesn't have a lot of weight to carry.
No, I know.
He really stunk it up when he's a $145 soaking wet. But he owned it, and he did win a World Series with the Red Sox in 2018. He was on the mound for those last. He got struck out the side versus the Dodgers, struck out Machado as he went down to one knee. So he did get a ring with the Red Sox. So that trade worked from Chicago. But re-signing him, and now of course Atlanta may pay for those last 2 years. I wouldn't have made that move. I would have just let it play out with him. But it's only a 2-year extension, so they've got him for 3 years.
All right, very good. Do you have anything else in the hot stove department before we get to NHL, which will be quick because we have a lot of PC and local stuff?
Yeah. So real quick, the New York Mets did begging to spend money, but nobody's really. Cohen's just itching to spend money. They signed former Yankee outfielder Harrison Bader to a 1-year, $10.5 million deal. The 29-year-old outfielder finished the year with the Cincinnati Reds. He's got speed. He's got a little pop. I liked him with the Yankees, even though he had to cut the hair. He had the long blonde hair. He had to cut it, and now he can grow it out again. Okay, so he gets a chance to go.
Maybe
play
that's when he'll be better.
He goes to play for the Mets, and I want to hop back and piggyback back to Lucas Giolito, who the Red Sox signed last week to a 2-year, $38.5 million deal, almost the same extension that Sale just got. I always remembered something about Giolito that I heard, that his family had acting ties. Okay, so his family, I think his mother, but it turns out his grandfather, Lucas Giolito, who is Italian, his grandfather, his grandfather isn't, but his grandfather is a character actor, or was. He's deceased now. His name is Warren Frost. Okay, if anybody of Seinfeld fame and Seinfeld trivia, I've heard Brendan from the Road Show's a huge Seinfeld
Oh my
guy.
God,
Like,
he has a
wrote
Seinfeld
book or
cookbook.
something.
Yeah.
I'd love to quiz him one time. I think I can stump him.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know.
But anyway, But anyways, the actor's name was Warren Frost.
Okay.
So on Seinfeld, he was on maybe 6 or 7 episodes. He was George's girlfriend, Susan Ross's father.
Oh, okay.
So the guy with the white hair.
Yes.
He gave
and
the
he burned the
he
shed or the
gave
cabin.
He gave Susan the cigars to give to George. George was choking on him. He hated them.
Yeah.
Gave them to Cosmo. Cosmo went down to the cabin and burnt the cabin
Yes.
down. So that was his cabin, and so his name is
Yes,
Warren Frost.
I remember. I know exactly who he is.
Yep.
And the wife also hated George. It was a very nice. It was very good acting. For
Yeah, the
both
wife
of them.
was sauced all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then they had the parents over there, the Costanzas over
Yeah.
there. I like when they're driving in the
Del
car.
Boca
yeah,
Vista.
and the mother goes, she goes, the mother liked to hit the sauce a lot. But I didn't like that. She said, she liked to hit the booze. I didn't like that. She's like, Merlot. What's Merlot?
Oh my. See, I appreciate the Seinfeld references.
Yeah.
And I will always watch it when it's on.
So,
I'm-
God rest his soul, but his grandson is going to toe the bump for the Red Sox the next 2 years and hopefully resurrect his career after a terrible, terrible 2023. But it did translate into a almost $20 million a year deal for him. So good luck to Lucas Giolito.
I need an agent like that. All right,
wow.
so let's get to hockey. You're all set? All right, here we go.
You know, Sid, he's incredible. Just a great guy. I grew up watching him play. Every year I was supposed to play against him. He was so good, he'd move up. And the guy that my dad actually would tell me to try to copy some of the things he would do. And part of my game and the way I protect pucks and stuff is because I watched him growing up. But, you know, he's not a guy that I like to try to get involved with on the ice. He's one of those guys that you make a bad take over a game, you know. So I try to, pick on guys that can't do that.
All right, so that's Marchand talking about Crosby and playing him. So I thought that was a little candid from Marchand because generally I feel like he's aggressive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's his thing. That's what
Right.
made him so successful. And at 35, still playing at a high level in the league. Of course, he had 2 goals on Thursday night. His 14th and 15th of the season. You got the number 25 from Pasternak, but it wasn't enough. The Bruins played catch up all night.
Oh, when
And
you
as-
have 4 goals in the first period, that's not great.
No, and of course, the Bruins fought, though, in this game to get it back to at least, to tie. And of course, Sidney Crosby, the aforementioned Crosby, closed it out, and the Bruins dropped to, 23-8. Nothing wrong with that, but
No.
they have struggled the last month or so. You're starting to see a little bit of holes in the roster. Swayman gave up 6. What do you think about that?
Well, I think Swayman doesn't have enough defense to help him out, and I did find it suspicious that they didn't trade him out for Olmark because you got 2 really, really good goalies, like some of the best in the league, probably both top 10. And then I just felt as though, at 4, even at 3, I would have been like, maybe we should just.
And it
give
was
this other
early.
guy.
It was already
in the
4.
in the first period. So it's like you're playing catch up, and that's just going to be a lot. And I know when they scored their 5th goal, they're like, well, the Bruins got to get right back on it. And I believe that's when Marchand ended up getting a goal. So, it was like.
I agree with you, but I hate to hop back to the tension. And maybe the reason is we saw about a month ago where he did pull him early after 2 goals, and he said something on the way out, and he didn't like it. So there was a little bit of friction there. I know. So
but you're the coach. You do
absolutely.
what's best for
you
the
do
team.
what you have to do to win a game.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that leaving him after 4, and he left him in the whole game. So, I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
But I also think it's not all of his fault. But when you get a goal within the first minute, I'm just like, that doesn't do well for your confidence.
Yeah, they haven't been playing great lately, but I think they'll be okay still. 23-8. A lot of teams would love to be 23-8, but there's some teams kind of catching up with them now. They kind of drift into the pack a little bit, even though they're still in first place.
And I know you said we're not about last year. We don't want to, give them a round of applause for being, great and then not coming away with anything. But I still think they're doing pretty good. They're still one of the top teams, considering we thought they were going to suck this
I'm
year.
happy with it. And I guess they just made some announcements on the All-Star game and some of the selections. They don't do all of it right off the top. They just announced the first 32, and I guess in the first 32, Pasternak's the only one that's been selected so far.
Oh, okay.
So he's been selected. I just want to mention on the other side, in the Western Conference, I've been talking about him since day one. I told you he's going to be the next generational talent. I love Connor McDavid from Edmonton, but there's another Connor I mentioned from the Blackhawks. It's Connor Bedard. He's one of the ones that's already been selected. He's 15 goals, 18 assists. He's still 18.
No.
So
he can't even drink yet, and that's where my priorities lie.
Goose City over here. But he's already been selected in one of the top 32, so he would have gotten added after. But obviously, he's been mentioned with the elite of the elite. So it's a great story.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congratulations to them. They're doing all right. But I have no. Let's just get to the end of the season and let's just see how they do in playoffs.
Nothing like playoff hockey.
Exactly. You got to keep it moving. And by the way, you did mention earlier that game would have been a great game to go to because high scoring.
If you're there, you don't want to go to a game and see a 1-0 hockey game.
Right.
I'm a baseball purist. I can live with a 2-1 matchup with a pitching duel.
Right.
But you go to a hockey game, I want to see the puck go through the net, and the pipes.
All right, so very good. We're going to get to birthdays now, and then we have a lot of PC stuff. We got 12 minutes to go.
We got a blast?
Yeah, we always got a blast. All right, so it's Sunday, January 7th. What we got?
All right, Tony Conigliaro, former Red Sox left fielder. Yeah, he had it all, Jess. He was like the youngest guy to ever hit like 100 home runs for the Red Sox. Came up, he was a local kid from Revere, Mass. Okay, Tony Conigliaro was gonna, I don't want to say rewrite the record books, but he was a kid that was gonna hit 500 homers. Would have been a Hall of Fame player until 1967. He was hit in the eye, and his career was never the same after that.
Oh no!
By Jack Hamilton, his eye ballooned up.
It was a mistake, right?
It was not on purpose.
Oh, okay.
Jack Hamilton, the pitcher, was never the same after that because obviously who feels good about that?
Right.
But he did make a comeback a couple of years later. He missed the whole 68 season, came back in 69. Had a couple more stints. They traded him to the Angels. He came back to the Red Sox. He was never the same. Took a stroke in 1983 and subsequently passed away. He was born in 45. He passed away in 1990 at the age of 45.
Oh, my God.
He was a terrific player, and that was the year of the impossible dream where the Red Sox were picked to finish last, and they made it to the World Series. So Tony C was a talented player. When I tell you Italian, he had the looks. He had it all. He could sing. Talent.
Oh, wow.
Talent all across the board. He was a better player than Yastrzemski, who was my idol at the,
That's talking about cutting things too soon. My
yeah,
God.
well, I figured I'd get that out because I don't want to do
Yeah,
close
don't end on the
more.
death.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going
boy.
to go with another Red Sox. John Lester is 40.
Oh, I like John
And
Lester.
of course, a cancer survivor, 3-time World Series champ, 2 with the Red Sox, and of course helped them. They didn't break the curse because he was there in 07 and the 2013 team. But then he helped break the curse for the Chicago Cubs. Oh. He went over to the Cubs, played
He's a curse curber.
Yeah, played under Theo Epstein. He had a wonderful career. The left-handed pitcher from Seattle, Washington. Of course, a cancer survivor. It's a great story. I got one more football. I got a football guy. Lamar Jackson is 27.
Oh my God, he's only 27.
27, and look what he's accomplished already. How about this? 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. Yep. 2019 NFL MVP, and I'm saying it right here. Even though he sat out the last game of the season, I'm going with Lamar Jackson as my 2023 MVP. They're the hot team and look like the favorite right now to probably win the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, he will win his second MVP. I'm pretty sure of that.
Wow, put some money on that now.
I like that.
And you know what I like about this is we were busting his chops about making that deal and be like, oh, he wants all this money, he doesn't want, and then he where's
he backed it up. When he started catching the ball, he backed it up.
Yep.
All right, I got 2 actors real quick. Nicolas Cage is 60.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
So many movies.
I went with The Rock.
Okay.
And of course, in 1982, he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
Okay. And
Raising Arizona. He's been in a Face Off.
And I don't know. I know Steve's real young. Steve knows who Nicolas Cage is. All right. Did you know what his real last name is? What is it's his stage name? Do you?
No.
So he's all from the. He's all tied in with the Godfather, like he's the nephew of Francis Ford Coppola.
Yes.
So his real name is Nicholas Coppola. And Nicolas Cage is his
stage name.
So
he's very interesting, but I think he's a good actor.
Yeah, I like the movie he did with David Caruso and Ving Rhames. I forgot the name of it, but he was a real nut in that.
Yeah.
And he was all roided out, and he was on the. It was a lot of stuff going. I forget the name of the movie, but big Nicolas Cage
he's
fan.
a lot.
He did Face Off with Travolta. That was decent.
And National Treasure, I think it's called, right?
See, then as it goes on, I'm out of the movie loop, so you'd probably do a lot better than I would.
I'm going to be thinking about this all day.
And I got one more actor. Jeremy Renner is 53.
Oh, he's good. Thank God he's okay.
Last year. Tough accident, okay, but he I liked him in The Town, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I still got to get to this show, Jess. It streams on Paramount. It's a crime thriller called Mayor of Kingstown.
Oh,
I gotta get to
everyone
that eventually.
says that's
But
really good.
I think Renner is a very, very talented actor. I like him. So he is 53. Those are my birthdays for January 7th.
All right, very good. We're going to talk about some local action. We got some PC news. Oh, man. What are we doing? You were at the game. You saw what happened. Obviously, starting with PC.
I didn't.
You didn't see?
I was watching the play. I think Carter was trying to drive to the
and
hoop.
he threw for the assist.
But I didn't know. I didn't see that, and I still haven't seen the replay. And maybe I don't want to see the replay.
No,
all I know is
it's
Carter.
like it looks like a hyperextension.
I just remember Carter driving, and then all of a sudden at half court, you just saw him down. I didn't see it happen, even though I was at the game. And I got to be honest with you, I've been following the Friars since 82, 83 with Otis Thorpe, and this is the worst I've felt. And it's obviously I feel for the kid and his family and his whole future as a basketball player. He'll be okay. But
Did we say who it is? Bryce Hopkins?
It's Bryce Hopkins. Yeah,
okay.
it's just it took the buzz, it took the sail right out of this. And they weren't playing well in the game. And it looks like Seton Hall kind of brought their game, even though the Friars were up 9 early. But I don't care about the game at that point. Obviously, I hate to say a season's over, but they're toast.
Well, you may have someone that disagrees with you. I have audio from Kim English.
We're fine. We're fine. Any group that we put on the court, we're expected to win. I will never, ever sit here and talk about who we didn't have or don't have. We expect to win. It's our job. We get 13 scholarships. We have 12, 11 available. And, no one cares. No one cares. We love Bryce. Our fans love Bryce. Our opponents aren't going to take it easy on us because if we're missing a player.
I love this guy. I love Kim English.
I'm happy with everything he said.
Yeah.
It's
but like that's why that was good.
I'm sticking to. I'm not being doom and gloom, but I'm sticking to what I said. The they're in trouble. You're looking at them at 11-3 now. They 11-3, 11-4. This team right now is they're going to be hard pressed to get victories. I don't see a go-to guy. Carter's had a great year. They're going to start keying on him even more.
Yeah.
And I watched that game the other night. Being there, Jaden Pierre looked like he looked like a tentative point guard in the Big East. He didn't look like he was even looking at the basket. And they were going and they kept pumping it into Oduro, who had a good game, but I know he missed a bunch of shots, but he had a good game. But it's going to be tough. They're not deep enough, Jess. And
I'm not sold on Oduro.
Well, this isn't the NBA either. You're not going out to. There's no GM. The athletic director is not going to make a trade mid-season.
True.
You go with what you have. And as Kim English just said, he's happy with what he has on the roster. We'll see what happens. Ticket gains and all those guys. Everyone's going to have to step it up. I told you,
and
Richard.
Maybe they'll do better with having to step up. Maybe because they relied on Hopkins, which, by the way, great defender, great. He wasn't having I'm going to get drafted to the NBA season.
But even on an off season, he was still averaging like 15 and 8, close to what his numbers were last year. We saw obviously struggling from the free throw line. Terrible from beyond the arc, from the three-point line. He wasn't hitting. They were sagging off him, begging him to shoot it. But I'd rather have him on the court to get those double-digit rebounds. And don't forget what he does on the defensive end and his physicality. He's a strong guy at 6'7", 6'8", 240. So we just wish him well, and hopefully he comes back. I have my reservations about whether he'll ever suit up for the Friars again.
No!
Because that's a year injury, and I think he'll either move on and try to play overseas or something. I don't know. I don't want to jump the gun. No, he'll be going. He's just never going to come back.
No, I'm saying come back for the NBA.
Come back and play somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. I got to be honest with you, it was tough. I got a lot of texts where a lot of people, Friar Nation is distraught right now, and it's one of the worst feelings I have felt. And I've seen a lot of losses, but when you see someone go down that like the season meant so much, you got Georgetown coming in at the end of the month. Now that's our championship right there. Just beat Cooley no matter what.
Yeah.
And forget about records and everything.
I think they'll step up. I think Kim English, if he delivered that speech, and I don't even play for PC, I feel good about it. I feel like these guys are going to.
I hope you and Kim are right. I don't feel good about it.
All right.
Okay.
All right, but we're going to get to more local stuff, but first we're going to thank our sponsors, and we're going to be right back because we only got 4 minutes.
Keeping score with Jess and Dean the Dream, sponsored by
Generations Adult Day Health Center. Generations is a day facility in Smithfield that provides services to meet the needs of adults with disabilities and the elderly. Their staff provides a range of adult day health services, such as case management, nursing, healthcare, nutrition, and more. At Generations, you're taken care of with registered nurses, certified nursing assistants, and plenty of direct care support staff on the floors at all times. With nearly 30,000 square feet of space, the state-of-the-art facility includes an open dining room, spacious physical and occupational therapy suites, a fully equipped gym and exercise room, and a TV movie theater, just to name a few. To find out more, visit generationsri.com. That's generationsri.com. Prout Mechanical in Providence, a family-owned and operated business. They provide HVAC installations, replacements, and maintenance services. They also offer indoor quality services to make sure that your home remains healthy and safe. They have licensed and trained technicians to keep up with industry standards and technology. They're also an authorized Mitsubishi Electric Diamond Elite contractor, so they can provide the best heating and cooling solutions. So get in touch with them today. Visit ProutHVAC.com. That's ProutHVAC.com, or call them at 487-4343 for a free estimate. So we got some local shout-outs. You're raising your hand, yes.
I have to. I know we're up against it.
Okay, yes, we have 3 minutes.
I know. I just wanted to tell you really quick, a great moment. One of our loyal listeners, Rob Mandarelli, who's been an important part of the show. He's on the Lincoln scene with the Division II Lincoln team, and he's been following them all year. They made history the other night. They had 2 players. They won 96-41 over PCD Tuesday night.
96?
But they made history because 2 players, Cam DeKyra, if I'm saying it right, and Wayne McNamara, both exceeded 1,000 points in the same night.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
DeKyra needed 31. He scored 32. And McNamara needed 26. He needed 25. He scored 26.
That's
so
crazy.
They are 4-0, 8-0 overall, 4-0 in D2. And they played. They actually just played Cranston West Friday night. So they'll look out for Lincoln this year. They're a tough
That's great.
team.
Oh, and thank you, Rob, for giving us information and not providing us with a long segment talking about fictional baseball players. And also, thank you for the merch buy and being a model for us. He's on our Insta.
He's worn it every week to 10 on Sunday.
People wear it all the time.
Yeah.
See Mike Romano, he wears it every day
I've had
here
like
to
3 or
work.
4 guys say, "Can I get the number for the?" I said, "Just Venmo Jess."
Oh boy, it is. That's a whole nother
After
story.
I shared pictures or whatever I did.
You shared 762 of my photos. Like I'm
What?
talking about photos.
Oh, is that
of
like personal?
No, it wasn't like personal,
but
like
I don't know how I did it.
I don't know how you did it either.
Do you really think I meant to do it?
No, of course not. That's why I said don't touch anything in social media because
That's
you
like
were
the
sharing.
Seinfeld. Don't touch Jimmy.
No one touched Jimmy. Jimmy's down. I like that.
That's Jimmy.
Yeah, that's Jimmy.
He talks about him in the third person.
Wait. Jimmy likes Elaine. Tell Jimmy.
That's Jimmy.
All right, well, we only have 30 seconds left.
Wow.
Darn it. I wanted to talk about Hard Knocks. I wanted to talk about Gronk going to Hot Club and finding out for the first time it was his second season on the Patriots. And he went to Hot Club and he's like, there's people from the Jersey Shore there. All right, whatever. It's Jersey Shore type people. And he was just like, I know I made it big when at the Hot Club people were taking pictures. He's like, it got out of control. I had to leave.
So not when he got drafted in the second round by the Patriots. It's when he ended up in the Hot Club.
Hot Club.
He arrived.
He's like, I had 5 touchdowns already in the season and people knew who I was. And he's like, that's when I knew I made it.
I love it.
I love it
Sorry,
too.
only got 30 seconds to throw that out there.
Yeah, I know.
but-
Sorry, that's all right. What are you going to do? We were up against the clock.
We're
I have
killing
two
it.
trees that are getting cut down in my house right now. This is Keeping Score with Jess and Dean, The Dream, each and every Sunday morning, 8 a.m. on 790 The Score. We're on Instagram. We're on YouTube. Follow us, and we got the merch for you. So make sure you follow us or Venmo me, and I'll get you your swag. All right, I'll see you next week.
Bye.
Sorry, I was distracted.
Oh, wow.